After nearly 1,000 years exploring Universe Boat, Luo Feng had only obtained the crazy demon extermination godly armor by killing 5 Chaos Master. While the best naturally born treasure he had found was the top-tier domain-type true treasure Snowfire sector. Hoping to acquire an even greater treasure, he immediately headed toward the source of the disturbance. Because teleportation was impossible deep within Flame Ice region, Luo Feng had to fly for about a month before encountering another domain. It belonged to Deer Bug Master from the Purple Moon Holy Land universe. An ancient level 6 universe master who possessed the supreme true treasure Deer Bug godly armor. Known for exploring Universe Ocean alone, Deer Bug Master recognized Luo Feng and suggested they travel together toward the mysterious phenomenon. Luo Feng agreed, and both continued their journey. 3 days later, Luo Feng and Deer Bug Master arrived at the source of the disturbance. Rising from the endless black swamp was an enormous black ancient boat stretching over 10 billion kilometers in length. Thick black liquid dripped from its hull into the swamp as violent waves surged around it. Several other Universe Masters had also arrived, including Shadow Dust Master and Sorcerer Sprite Master in their steepled palace, along with another Universe Master inside the pyramid-shaped palace. After exchanging greetings, Deer Bug Master excitedly declared that they had witnessed the appearance of the legendary boat of Mausoleum. Luo Feng was deeply shocked upon recognizing the massive vessel. Although humanity possessed little information about the boat of Mausoleum, it was known throughout Universe Ocean as a legendary resting place connected to countless deceased great beings. While previous explorers had never discovered the bodies of the dead, they had found numerous priceless treasures inside. Even Universe Supreme Masters were unable to enter the mausoleum itself, but they could enter the boat of Mausoleum. Realizing that this legendary vessel had finally appeared before him, Luo Feng carefully observed the colossal ancient boat in astonishment, as the gigantic black boat of Mausoleum continued rising from the black swamp. The entire swamp shook violently. Compared to the colossal vessel, Luo Feng and the other Universe Masters appeared insignificant in both size and aura. The black swamp, which could not be disturbed even by full-powered attacks from Universe Masters, was effortlessly pushed aside by the emerging boat. Luo Feng wondered how such a treasure could be claimed, realizing that almost no one in the Universe Ocean truly understood its methods. Humanity had never possessed one, and only the 2 Holy Land universes were rumored to have successfully seized one before. He dismissed the possibility of claiming it through life imprint branding, since powerful experts like Deer Bug Master, Shadow Dust Master, and Sorcerer Sprite Master were not attempting it. Luo Feng secretly contacted Deer Bug Master and admitted his lack of knowledge about the boat of Mausoleum. Asking for information, Deer Bug Master initially refused but then proposed a deal. Luo Feng would temporarily obey his commands in front of everyone to reduce the risk of Deer Bug Master becoming a target. Luo Feng agreed immediately, with the condition that once the treasure itself became involved, both sides would rely solely on their own abilities. Deer Bug Master accepted the agreement. Luo Feng understood why Deer Bug Master sought allies. Although he possessed a supreme true treasure armor with extraordinary defense, it provided little advantage in killing opponents, unlike specialists such as Clear Eye Master, whose sole attacks could completely suppress enemies. Deer Bug Master's strength alone was insufficient to easily eliminate powerful Universe Masters, even though he could unleash power comparable to a Universe Supreme being inside the Primal Universe. Deer Bug Master explained that the boat of Mausoleum was originally a working tool used by an ancient civilization within Universe Boat. The same civilization that had created structures like the black striped stone pillars and possibly even the entire Universe Boat itself. Their technological achievements far surpassed anything existing in the current Universe Ocean. The writings engraved on supreme true treasures were identical to those left by this ancient civilization. Proving the connection, he further revealed that special objects such as the boat of Mausoleum, black striped stone pillars, and bloody sea plate could not be claimed through life imprint branding because they were tools rather than true treasures. The boat of Mausoleum possessed remarkable defensive properties due to its unique material, naturally resisting soul attacks and completely blocking virtual godly powers. But unlike Palace true treasures, it could not perfectly absorb external impacts, allowing some force to pass through. To control it, one had to enter the vessel and seize its internal core control. Each boat of Mausoleum had a unique core control system, and even Deer Bug Master admitted he knew nothing about its specifics. The only way to enter the vessel was to wait for its doors to open naturally, as no external force could pry them open. Normally the doors opened soon after the vessel completely emerged. Although rare exceptions existed, Deer Bug Master recounted a historical case where one boat of Mausoleum remained sealed for over 300 eras until a supreme expert skilled in refining true treasures used a secret technique based on understanding the ancient civilization's technology to activate and open it. He also revealed another important secret. Each boat of Mausoleum could carry only 36 great beings into the tomb. However, once it entered the tomb, the boat of Mausoleum would depart permanently and could no longer be controlled, meaning even its successful owner would lose possession of it after entering. Meanwhile, The boat of mausoleum continued rising steadily until it absorbed a palace true treasure belonging to a force from the first ancestral god school. Luo Feng reflected that although the ancestral god school remained influential throughout every reincarnation era, its experts became weaker and less united after each destruction of the primal universe because they lost the protection of the universe origin. Soon another powerful group arrived. A skeleton clan expert laughed upon recognizing the Divine Eye clan, Purple Moon Holy Land, First Ancestral God School, Humanity, and the newly emerged boat of mausoleum. The skeleton clan expert immediately rushed toward the vessel and attempted to brand it with life imprints, but failed completely. Members of the Divine Eye clan mocked the attempt, saying it was obvious that branding would never work. The skeleton clan expert responded that trying was worthwhile because every boat of mausoleum might differ, while accusing the Divine Eye clan of likely having attempted the same thing earlier. In truth, the Divine Eye clan had indeed experimented with branding before but lacked the deeper knowledge possessed by the two Holy Land universes. The skeleton clan and Divine Eye clan continued exchanging insults, reflecting their long-standing rivalry spanning nearly 3 reincarnation eras, while the other factions remained silent. After another half-month, no additional forces arrived. The only groups present were the Divine Eye clan, Skeleton clan, First Ancestral God School, Purple Moon Holy Land, and Luo Feng representing humanity. Since everyone remained hidden inside Palace True Treasures, no one knew exactly how many experts each faction had brought. Finally, the boat of mausoleum completely emerged from the black swamp, floating fully above it. At that moment, its cabin doors began vibrating, signaling that they were about to open. Dear Bug Master immediately ordered Luo Feng to follow him. Luo Feng's star tower closely trailed Dear Bug Master's pyramid as they rushed toward the massive vessel. Seeing this, the other factions instantly realized Dear Bug Master possessed the most knowledge about the boat of mausoleum. They immediately activated their Palace True Treasures to maximum speed, accelerating to 100 times the speed of light as every group raced toward the opening boat of mausoleum. All 5 forces, Luo Feng, Dear Bug Master, the Divine Eye clan, the Skeleton clan, and the First Ancestral God School, rushed toward the boat of mausoleum as its enormous cabin door slowly opened. While approaching the entrance, the other 3 factions suddenly joined forces to attack Dear Bug Master. Recognizing him as the greatest threat because he possessed a supreme true treasure and knew the boat of mausoleum better than anyone, Luo Feng was completely ignored. Under the combined assault of a giant void blade, countless illusionary butterflies, a white whirlwind, and other attacks, Dear Bug Master revealed his true combat form by activating his supreme true treasure. He transformed into the terrifying Dear Bug, a gigantic black-scaled beast covered with hundreds of clawed limbs and a segmented scorpion-like tail. Its only normal feature was its deer-like head, with deafening roars that shook space itself. Dear Bug shattered all incoming attacks before telling Luo Feng to follow him. The Divine Eye clan, Skeleton clan, and First Ancestral God School repeatedly urged Luo Feng to help stop Dear Bug, warning that he would regret helping him. Luo Feng ignored them, mocked their threats, and continued following Dear Bug. The 3 factions concentrated all of their attacks on Dear Bug instead, slowing his advance considerably. Taking advantage of this, Luo Feng briefly overtook Dear Bug and became the first to enter the boat of mausoleum. The others believed Luo Feng posed little danger because he knew nothing about the vessel's internal layout, while Dear Bug remained the real target. Inside the boat of mausoleum, everyone emerged from their pinnacle Palace True Treasures into an enormous hall over 100 million kilometers wide. The hall was completely empty except for countless passageways leading in different directions. Luo Feng hesitated, knowing that choosing the wrong route could cost him the chance to obtain the core control. Dear Bug immediately transmitted instructions for Luo Feng to follow him, and Luo Feng did so without hesitation. The Divine Eye clan's Shadow Dust Master and Sorcerer Sprite Master, the First Ancestral God School's Lu Ju Master, and the Skeleton clan's Jittery Sea Master instantly chased after them, launching continuous soul attacks, ranged attacks, and domain attacks while racing through the corridors. Luo Feng realized Dear Bug was using him to share some of the enemy's attention, but he also concluded that following Dear Bug was still his best option. Alone, he had little chance of defeating the 3 major factions, whereas staying behind Dear Bug allowed the latter to attract most of the attacks, giving Luo Feng an opportunity to benefit if Dear Bug weakened. As all 6 figures sped through the winding passages, Dear Bug remained the primary target, forcing his speed down until he was almost alongside Luo Feng. Suddenly, Dear Bug rammed one of his horns into a patterned corridor wall, activating a hidden mechanism. A massive gate dropped from above, sealing off the pursuing 4 universe masters while Dear Bug and Luo Feng escaped beyond it. Furious, the trapped pursuers blamed one another. The Divine Eye clan criticized Jittery Sea Master for wasting effort attacking Luo Feng instead of focusing entirely on Dear Bug, arguing that Luo Feng knew nothing about the boat of mausoleum while Dear Bug possessed all the crucial knowledge. Sorcerer Sprite Master attempted to break the gate but failed completely, so the 4 abandoned that route and hurried to search for another passage, fearing Dear Bug might seal off additional paths. As Dear Bug and Luo Feng continued deeper into the vessel, Luo Feng praised Dear Bug's familiarity with the boat of mausoleum. Dear Bug explained that he had previously studied 2 boats of mausoleum, so naturally he knew many of their secrets. He openly admitted that recruiting Luo Feng had served 2 purposes: removing one potential enemy while adding another opponent for the rival factions. Now, however, Luo Feng had become largely unnecessary to him. Luo Feng immediately became cautious, suspecting Dear Bug might attack him next. Dear Bug calmly reassured him that he was nothing like the reckless experts of the first reincarnation era. He explained that although the boat of mausoleum was not equal to a palace supreme true treasure, it far surpassed any pinnacle palace true treasure and was even comparable in value to a strange object or nearly a supreme true treasure because it granted access to the tomb. Nevertheless, Dear Bug valued the thrill of treasure hunting more than possessions themselves. Since his race enjoyed an almost eternal lifespan, he believed failure after giving one's best effort was perfectly acceptable and never worth losing one's sanity over. Continuing through the twisting passages, Dear Bug finally announced that, based on his deductions, the chamber ahead should be the core room containing the boat of mausoleum's core control. He declared that from that point onward, everything depended on ability alone. Either he or Luo Feng would obtain the core control, inherit the boat of mausoleum, or die trying. Luo Feng and Dear Bug Master arrived at the magnificent control room of the boat of mausoleum after opening a grand golden and cyan door. As soon as they entered the spacious hall filled with decorations and treasures, Luo Feng immediately released his divine power to cover every object, hoping to make every treasure acknowledge him as its master since he did not know which item was the core control. Dear Bug Master laughed at his naive approach, explaining that the boat of mausoleum could only be controlled through its core control, whose recognition method was far more complicated than branding ordinary treasures. He admitted that this was one reason he had invited Luo Feng along, as experts from the first reincarnation era might possess knowledge about obtaining the core control. Luo Feng realized Dear Bug Master had hidden information and decided to carefully observe his actions instead of searching blindly. Dear Bug Master searched the entire control room twice, becoming increasingly shocked when he found no sign of the core control. Unable to believe it, he insisted that according to the traditions of the ancient civilization, the control room should always contain the master's core control. Luo Feng suggested that perhaps the core control was located elsewhere, but Dear Bug Master dismissed the idea, arguing that the control room had always housed both the owner and the core control. Before they could continue, 4 more Universe Masters, Shadow Dust Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, Jittery Sea Master, and Luju Master, entered through another route, revealing that the control room could be reached by multiple paths. They immediately began searching for the core control. Sorcerer Sprite Master scattered countless drops of golden blood across every object in the hall, using a special verification technique known to the Divine Eye clan to identify the core control. However, the method confirmed there was no core control anywhere in the room. Shadow Dust Master and the others were astonished, while Jittery Sea Master briefly suspected Dear Bug Master had already taken it. Dear Bug Master denied this, pointing out that he would not still be searching if he had already obtained it. All 6 experts were left completely confused. Suddenly, an invisible force gathered upon an ancient throne at the front of the hall, forming the image of a cyan-haired human with yellow skin and black eyes wearing simple floral patterned armor. The figure calmly introduced himself as Duan Dong River Wu. Shadow Dust Master recognized that the title, Wu, represented an extremely respected status within the ancient civilization. Though Dear Bug Master mocked his limited understanding, the projection explained that countless reincarnation eras had passed since his death. Before embarking on his final expedition alongside his general, he had already known he was unlikely to survive. He stated that he was the 192nd master of Duan Dong River, inheriting an ancient lineage whose masters had died one after another while preserving an ever-growing inheritance. Refusing to let that inheritance disappear with him, he had remodeled the boat of mausoleum into a unique vessel containing dangerous regions and inheritance grounds unlike any ordinary boat of mausoleum. Duan Dong River Wu declared that while he himself could die, the inheritance of the Duan Dong River lineage must continue. He warned everyone that they still had the opportunity to leave safely. But once they advanced further, the dangers would become increasingly severe. Near the end of the path, when they approached the true inheritance, only the single person qualified to inherit it would survive. If no one proved worthy, then every challenger would perish. Furthermore, once anyone came into contact with even a portion of the inheritance, outsiders who coveted the Duan Dong River lineage would no longer be allowed to withdraw and would have to face death unless they became the true successor. After delivering this warning, the projection disappeared. The hall fell silent as Luo Feng, Dear Bug Master, Shadow Dust Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, Jittery Sea Master, and Luju Master reacted with excitement, madness, and concern. They immediately realized the inheritance was extraordinarily valuable. The Divine Eye clan had become one of the strongest powers in the universe ocean because they had once discovered a complete inheritance. proving the immense value of such legacies. From Duan Dong River Wu's status, his ability to remodel the boat of mausoleum, and his mention of serving a powerful general, it became clear that the Duan Dong River lineage originated from an exceptionally powerful branch of the ancient civilization. Since every generation possessed only a single heir and countless generations had accumulated their inheritances, everyone understood that the true inheritance before them was unimaginably precious, but obtaining it would almost certainly require risking their lives. Duan Dong River Wu's voice echoed through the control hall as Luo Feng, Deer Bug Master, Lu Ju Master, Shadow Dust Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, and Jittery Sea Master all struggled with the agonizing decision of whether to accept the inheritance. Deer Bug Master hesitated between preserving his eternal life in the Purple Moon Holy Land and risking annihilation for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Shadow Dust Master realized that any inheritance left within the universe boat, a creation of the ancient civilization, must be incomparably precious, while Jittery Sea Master desperately prayed for the chance. Lu Ju Master also showed rare hesitation. Luo Feng was equally conflicted, realizing that the boat of mausoleum itself was only secondary to the inheritance it contained. He understood that failure would likely mean complete annihilation, not just the loss of one divine body. Because the ancient civilization's methods were beyond imagination, he debated whether to risk everything, knowing he had cultivated for only a dozen eras and could likely become a universe master without the inheritance. However, he also recognized that even becoming a universe master would only grant survival through 3 reincarnation eras, while true eternity had only been achieved by the 2 Holy Land universes. Remembering the countless previous masters recorded within the Black Token's independent space and the endless reincarnation eras that had passed without anyone else reaching eternity, Luo Feng concluded that this inheritance represented the only path beyond Universe Supreme Master and toward a much higher realm. As everyone remained deep in thought, the hidden companions of the major factions emerged. Sorcerer Sprite Master released Golden Square Master of the Divine Eye Clan from his palace True Treasure, while Jittery Sea Master allowed Red Lark Master of the Skeleton Clan to appear. Lu Ju Master summoned Rock Giant Master, who declared he would follow whatever decision she made. It became clear that most experts in the dangerous inner domain usually traveled in pairs, while Deerbug Master and Luo Feng both confirmed they had always acted alone. Altogether, there were 9 candidates: Deerbug Master, Luo Feng, 3 members of the Divine Eye Clan, 2 Skeleton Clan members, and 2 members of the First Ancestral God School. Deerbug Master remarked that even the Purple Moon Holy Land possessed no inheritance comparable to Duan Dong Rivers, believing the deceased master's remaining methods were powerful enough to kill even Universe Supreme Masters, and urged everyone to think carefully. At that moment, Duan Dong River's cyan-haired projection reappeared and asked whether they had made their decisions. He raised the hall, revealing a vast dark red passage beneath it. He explained that anyone willing to inherit the Duan Dong River lineage must descend into the passage, where they would undergo numerous life and death trials. Candidates who fully accepted the inheritance would survive, but anyone who obtained only part of it would inevitably die. Those unwilling could still leave, and even invite more experts to compete, since finding a worthy successor was the highest priority. After delivering these instructions, the projection completely disappeared. Facing the open passage, the experts made their choices. Red Hawk Master of the Skeleton Clan entered first, believing the inheritance could help create a 3rd Holy Land universe by guiding future Skeleton Clan experts. Lu Ju Master immediately followed, with Rock Giant Master entering beside her without hesitation. Shadow Dust Master and Sorcerer Sprite Master smiled at one another and entered together as husband and wife. Golden Square Master laughed, accepting that he would die eventually anyway, and entered as well. Soon, every expert from the first reincarnation era had gone inside, leaving only Deerbug Master and Luo Feng. When Luo Feng asked about his decision, Deerbug Master replied that eternity alone held no meaning compared to pursuing the greatest adventure of his life. Since the Purple Moon Holy Land would continue to exist regardless of his fate, he accepted the enormous risk without regret and flew into the passage. Left alone, Luo Feng carefully considered his final choice. As a Universe Knight, he could still be resurrected if he died, although at great cost. He originally intended to let his Golden Horn Beast body escape with the Star Tower, but realized that if he were annihilated, the treasure would become ownerless and might be lost or seized by other forces. Deciding that carrying the Star Tower would greatly improve his chances of surviving the inheritance trials, Luo Feng resolved to gamble everything, believing that success could secure eternal prosperity for humanity. He transformed into a streak of light and plunged into the dark red abyss without hesitation.